What's going on, you guys? This is Keinan Briggs, athlete, coach, and mentor. This is the number two podcast. This podcast, I reached out to you guys on my Instagram, and it was a good topic that I think is worth talking about. And I got probably 120 or so responses, and all of them said yes. One person said no. So if you're that person that said no, I know you said no just because you wanted to be that person to say no, but it's all right. Anyway, so today's conversation is about real time coaching versus video coaching. And this is a topic that is very important. An extension to that topic is basically the value of having a coach there to watch you during competition, a coach to give you real time coaching versus taking video and looking at it in the lab and then coming back to you after the fact. So we're going to go through a handful of things. The first thing we're going to go through is I'm going to define what real-time coaching is. I'm going to define what video coaching is, the pros and cons of both real-time and video coaching, why this is an issue, the value of having a coach to watch you, how important that is, who wins or loses whenever you have a coach that is watching you. And the last thing is I'm going to provide some solutions that I think may work. Now, the first thing is this is very important to me. I went through 3 levels of track and field. I went through high school, went through junior college, and also university, actually 4, and professional. And now I'm on the other side of it. But when it comes down to real-time coaching, it's very important to have a coach that's there to coach you and to fine-tune the things you're doing right and the things you're doing wrong at a track meet. So the definition of real-time coaching is basically just that. It's coaching on the spot. It's, you know what, your arm isn't in the right place, put your arm in this place. So go back and do it again. That's real-time coaching. There's a difference between real-time coaching at a track meet and real-time coaching at practice. You're going to get a lot more hands-on at practice. You're going to have just more kind of cue points to work on and checkpoints to work on when it comes to an actual track meet. But real-time coaching is basically getting coaching on the fly, adjustments made each individual jump. Video coaching is what a lot of coaches do. They have the great technology. They have these great iPads and all this stuff, and video cameras is great, but the video coaching is when they have to watch you jump, they record you, then they have to go back and watch the video. Then once they watch the video, they can get back to you at another time and coach you. Now, that's the definition between the two. If you have any variations, obviously send me an email, let me know what you think. But here's the pros and the cons of it. So the pros of real-time coaching is you're getting feedback immediately. The second you jump, that feedback is fresh. It's present. It's do these 2-3 things, go back, jump again. That's huge. It's great because now you know you're right. I'm going to adjust these things. I'm going to see what happens. And it's back and forth. Now, the cons of real-time coaching is sometimes a coach just doesn't know how to coach you. You have to know what is actually happening within your jump and know a solution. Because if you don't have a solution and all you're yelling out is the issue, it doesn't help. So, quick little sidebar. I coach high school and I also coach youth track and field. Both levels. I see an athlete run, they jump, let's say they landed too soon. They weren't patient or their speed wasn't fast enough on the runway. The coach yells across the track, "Hey, pick up your speed." Or, "Hey, you're dropping your legs." The athlete looks at them like, "You idiot. I know. I felt myself drop my legs too soon. I need to know what to do. How do I fix it?" Yelling out their flaws doesn't help them. It's all about, can you provide them with the solution? What do I have to do to change what just happened? Once you understand that concept, if you're a coach, you got it. And now if you're the athlete, I probably struck a chord with you and you're like, man, that's true. It happens all the time. Stop telling your athletes what they're doing wrong, because when it comes to morale, they're going to become depressed. I don't mean like physically depressed where their head is down. It's just they're not going to feel good about the next jump. You want them to have that jump. Once they have that jump, feel good about it. Even if they had a horrible jump, I feel bad. Coach just told me what to fix because it's going to make me better. I go back. I feel good. My next jump, I have the same attitude that I always have, which is good. Right? So again, the cons are, if you don't have a coach that is going to help you or tell you solutions, that's a bad thing. Also, if the coach isn't there, that's not going to help, because that's not helping with real time, right? Then on the other side with video coaching, the good things about video coaching is you can really, really break down a jumper. Here are the 10 flaws that I see, because now that I'm looking at it in slow motion, I see a lot more flaws. You got to fix these things. This is how we're going to do it. We're going to work on these specific drills next week, and we're going to fix these issues you have. So next track meet, you're ready to go, right? Or let's do a hybrid version, right? Let's say a coach has the video, is able to assess the video on the spot, which is, I think, a lot of coaches also do. Well, it just creates a lot of downtime. So now once you jump, you are walking back from the pit. Athletes looking for immediate feedback, and you're looking at your thing. So now the athlete walks back. They've now spent a minute or two, wallowing in this negative emotion, and while you're sitting there fidgeting with your camera or your iPad, and then you give them feedback. That, I think, is better than just saying, I'm going to record your jumps, we'll look at them Thursday. So that would be a good option, I think. The video coaching cons is just that there's so much downtime that I just explained. Like, I just jumped, I'm excited, I'm mad, whatever my emotion is, coach, what do I do? And I'm just looking at you, figure out what you do. Now, let's put this into a real life perspective. You go to your doctor's office. Your doctor is a professional. They know what they do. And the doctor, checks your pulse. And the pulse doesn't seem right. And they have to pause for a second and analyze the pulse. Or they have to figure out what the pulse actually means. Or the blood pressure, if it's high or low, they have to figure out what this means and assess it. Like for me, I'd be like, yo, something wrong? Like, well, why is it taking so long for you to get back to me? If you're a professional, you should be able to say, oh, here's your blood pressure. These are the things you gotta adjust. Your food, your diet, you gotta rest more. I don't want to wait. It makes me feel uncomfortable. And so when it comes to you as a professional, you're a coach. The kids are looking to you to give them feedback. I want feedback now. But again, if you tell them, you know what, I'm learning still, I'm adjusting, I'm spending hours in the classroom, learning my ability to coach you better, they respect that. Being transparent as an athlete, as a coach, it's very, very good. So make sure you guys have that in the play. 100%, hands down, I feel that live coaching, real-time coaching is the answer. If you don't have the answer, then have the camera to record and then review it on the spot and go from there. Now, why this topic came up is simply because there are a lot of coaches a part of teams, and they have two coaches. They have a distance coach and a head coach, or an assistant coach and a head coach, and they have 200, 300 athletes. Now, when it comes to sprints, I can easily handle hundreds of athletes. I can have, one group leader with the athletes when it comes to practice, and they handle all 10 athletes. This is the fast group. You guys, you run, be under this time, get your knees up, you run. And I have those groups go. I can get them through a lot of reps. When it comes to a track meet, I can watch the heats of the 100, and I can watch, who wins, who had a bad block start. I can watch everybody at the same time because they're all doing the same thing at the same time. But when it comes to jumps, there's only one athlete on the runway. Literally one athlete that jumps at a time. So that takes a long time. I can watch 10 all at once, 9 exactly, or 8, or I'm going to watch one. And it's hard to watch one athlete do all of their jumps. It takes a lot of time, and it takes you to be involved in your athlete's life when they're jumping. Now, the problem exactly exists because there's no time. I don't have time to watch every single jump. I personally have between 25 and 30 jumpers every year. This year, I picked up a whole new team, a whole new group, the beginning training team. And I have an assistant who handles that. And there's about another, 25 to 30 athletes or so. So for me, I have to manage my other assistant who manages those other athletes. So essentially, I picked up another 30 athletes, and an orchestrator. So I'm managing my athletes, I'm programming their workouts, and I'm also, having him keep an eye on those athletes. The great thing is I now can watch the athletes. What I did, this is kind of a solution to the issue, but what I did in the past was I told the athletes, one, if you're on JV or frost off, you're going to get limited days of jumping on the runway because I put the focus on the varsity group. If you wanted more time, you had to do all the off-season training, you had to do all the in-season training, and you jump when you're physically able. And that progression came. When it came to the track meets, I was always available to watch my jumpers jump, my varsity jumpers. And if I had time, I'd watch the lower level jumpers. So basically, it was a motivation for the lower level jumpers to say, I need to get better now so I can be seen by Coach Keinan. And when those things happened, it was great. But I was able to watch them every now and then. I was able to see their progression because I worked with them all the time, and that was huge. But now I tell them you're with Coach Art, and I'll come by, do a few things, and as they learn literally what track is, because a lot of them never did track before, ever seen it, they're learning all the basics. As they learn, they start jumping with my group. I'll have like a beginning group day, an advanced day, and so on, and those things really help. So again, that's a sidebar for a solution for the issue. But again, another reason digging deep why this issue exists is because track and field isn't funded correctly. It's not. I'm not going to go too far into that, but coaches only get between, I don't know, $1,000 and $2,000 for the season. And a coach is working 5-6 days a week. It's maybe 2 hours of practice Monday through Friday, then a Saturday track meet. And if you have a track meet on Thursday and a track meet on Saturday, track meets last 3, 4, 5 hours. If it's invitational, they last 175 hours and 35 seconds. They take a long time. And, a coach is getting paid 37 cents per hour. So, there's just no money there. And it just doesn't make any sense. But because there's no money in it, no funding in it, you only have 1 or 2 coaches. Then you have a student that helps out, or a person that came back, or a volunteer. And the volunteer coach is not as knowledgeable as a assistant or head coach. So the issue of this is happening because there's just no one there to be there to help. And no one really wants to help because there's no money there. Like, coaches are losing money when it comes to the high school realm. And the club realm, it's basically free volunteers are getting. And again, the volunteer coaches are the parents. So that's a whole other thing, but I won't go into that. Now, the value of having a coach to watch you. One little side story is, so I always had a coach. High school, I had a jump coach who helped me out. He was there. At the college level and junior college level, I had a coach that was there. They watched every jump that I had. Now, it may be because I was good. It was because I was good that I got the attention. If I wasn't as good, I probably wouldn't have seen the attention. It would have been somewhere else with some other athletes that were good. So, I just got lucky that happened. Um, but then when I went professional, I literally trained myself. I literally trained by myself. I woke up, trained, on the track. I was in the weight room, on the treadmill, by myself. The wake up call was when I realized I qualified for USATF Outdoor Championships. And, I'm looking at the roster of those who are qualified. It's Christian Taylor, Kenta Bell, Brandon Rulak. These guys are jumping 55 plus feet. And, I flew out to Iowa. I flew out there a couple of days early. I did my pre-meet the day before my actual jumping day. I'm looking at Tyson Gay, Walter Dix, Lolo Jones. I'm by myself. I didn't have someone to talk to. I didn't have literally anyone to talk to. I didn't know anybody. And I get on the runway the next day for my actual competition. 19 plus thousand people, USA Nationals, televised event, the biggest group that I've ever been in front of. And I have no one to watch my board. Like, I'm literally shaking on the runway. I've never been shaking nervousness on the runway. And I had no one to calm me down. Literally. I jumped my first jump, and I jumped 49 feet. Mind you, this is the USA Championships. 52 feet is normal, and I didn't even break 50. And so I had to coach myself. I told myself a lot. I literally beat myself up to get myself motivated to get after it, and I did. I ended up PRing. But you don't understand how much stress emotionally was drained out of me in that meet. I didn't make the finals, but I did PR. I'm not going to lie to you. I took the bus to the track meet. But at the end of the track meet, I was literally signing autographs. So, luckily, I met a guy, Joel Pearson, who was a distance coach. And he didn't know what to do other than he was just in the area. So while I was competing, I just kind of looked at him. That helped me. But I mean, he didn't know what to say. He couldn't say run faster. He couldn't say, anything other than he just looked at me, and I just used him as motivation that, what? He's watching me. He's my motivation. And the good thing is he just said, good job. That's all I needed from him. But that was me borrowing a coach. But even then, in my head, I knew that he wasn't my coach. I knew that he wasn't the person that was going to help me. I had to get all that stuff in between myself. Now, long story, right? But moving back into the value of having a coach is your comfort. A coach is the person that hugs you when you do a great job or a bad job. A coach is a person that when you don't have your sweats on, you look over and you realize, oh, I gotta get my sweats on because he's gonna, yell at me or cuss me out. Whatever it is, it's just that person. If it's traveling to a meet, it's someone to talk to when you're traveling. Spending 2-3 hours on a plane by yourself, walking to the hotel by yourself, being in the hotel by yourself, all these things are nerve-wracking. And you go to these high school meets, mind you, I was an adult. I already finished college. I already been to a collegiate nationals, a junior college state championship, but you have these kids who are freshmen, sophomores, juniors, seniors. This may be their first big invitationals, maybe be their first, playoff competitions. And if they don't have a coach, oh, they're going to melt. They're going to just melt. They're going to just do it horribly. So having a coach just there is very important. And it has to be a coach. It can't be a parent. A parent, even though, you love your kids and the kids know, is just, if you're a parent, you're always seen as a parent. And the athlete wants to see a coach. Now, there are parent coaches, and that's where the parent switches hats. They switch their hat from I'm a parent, dad or mom, to I'm your coach, shut up and jump, right? So if you're a program and you have a program, you need to get a coach that is present. You need to get a coach that is there, because sometimes an athlete just needs that motivation or someone to watch them. If you don't have those means, then get a camera on those athletes. Record every single jump that that kid does, so then a coach can watch their videos. Or send me your videos. I'll watch it and I'll tell you what to adjust. Then you can train on your own. I have a handful of athletes that I coach virtually that they send me their videos. They're in Canada, they're in Vegas, they're in Oregon, they're in other states, Idaho, and I just say, here's your feedback. Good. I'll go ahead and go try it. And they tell me I've improved. Jordan, I believe Neely is his last name. He improved 4 feet last year and is still improving. And all we do is exchange emails. I literally haven't talked to this young boy, ever. So I mean, it's all been virtual, and he's seen great improvements. Now, of course, he has his own team. His dad is very supportive. He has a team that he trains with. He has a coach that is there. But the fact that they have some type of guidance is very important. So that's a long-winded answer to the value of having a coach to coach you. If you're in the professional realm or post-collegiate, you have to have a coach because it's going to be nerve-wracking. And I did indoor championships and outdoor championships with no coach. It's hard. I just know if I would have had a coach there with me, I would have had video footage of me jumping my personal bests and jumping really well, and then I would have probably jumped feet further if I would have been prepared mentally by having that. Okay, so now who wins and who loses by not having by having a coach and not having a coach? Well, all the time, the athlete is the one who wins and loses every single time. Because if you're mentally just off or you fouled the big jump, you're more focused on just the wrong things. It's very important to have that coach around. It's very important to make sure that you have someone there that's a positive reinforcement and just there. So the specific part of who wins and loses, going even deeper, is I know some great coaches. There's a coach that's in our area that is great. He has a great team. His sprints program is great. Hurdle program is great. Now he has some state class jumpers, and the issue with it is it's only one of him. It's just him. I think he has an assistant. So the issue is this: the athletes that are the state quality jumpers that are really good, if he goes over to them and watches them jump and compete, and he spends time developing them, getting them from state class to USA national class, he has to spend time with them. Now he's spending time with 2 athletes. Meanwhile, he has 157 athletes that aren't getting coaching. At track meets, he's helping everybody. He's just saying, I'm going to help everyone out. So now the issue is those state class athletes don't get the coaching they need. So they're going to stay at state class and they're not going to get national class. So literally, their potential to go to university and college for track is bumped. It's pushed to the side. It's put on the back burner simply because he just can't help them. Now, whether he knows what to do or not, I don't think that's really important. Just physically being there is what's going to be the key for now. Also, you have your kids who aren't good at all. They're the kids who show up, they want to be there, but they don't know what to do. They're not strong enough. He can't be there for them because I don't have time to sit here and hold your hand through every single process, every single practice. You got to get better and you got to figure it out. But then you have the mass, all the kids who are in the middle, the kids who have potential to get better, the kids who work hard, the kids who are, who are solid kids on frost off, probably making JV, or the kids who are solid JV, could make varsity. Those are the kids who are like, you know what? These are the kids I really got to make sure that they're good so they can advance and get better through the program. Well, that whole middle section are the kids who get the most attention because they're in the bulk. They understand the workouts. They benefit from it. They understand all the basics. They get all that stuff done. They receive attention every now and then. They get it. So the kids who lose are the spectrums, the best of the best and the worst of the worst. And the worst of the worst are the kids who come, they try it, they quit next year because they didn't improve. And they never were talked to say, hey, you know what? You got to focus. That coaching is what they're missing. The elite athletes, they just don't get that extra. You know what? I need your foot to turn this way. I need your head to turn this way. Just tilt this a little bit. I need you to do these little 3 or 4 things that improves your marks 3 to 4 feet. Right? It's the kids in the middle. Now, the solution to this, I've kind of already alluded to these already with putting money into track, raising funds for track. Just the sport needs more money. I will make another video about my thoughts about how the sport is broke, and the wrong people are making all the money. And what else? Worst case scenario, record all your jumps. I'm a resource where I will edit, or you do a DVA on these videos. Maybe you have your friends record it, a coach record it, things like that. So hopefully you enjoyed this conversation. I do think that a lot of you guys have some feedback input. If you do interact with me, start interacting with me more. I'm going to open this platform for people to say what they got to say. Whether you agree or disagree, bring that, because it's going to help me harden my opinion or change my opinion. But the way to contact me is simply, if you're on YouTube or Facebook, simply comment below and let me know how you feel. Whether you agree or disagree, share this video if you think that people need to hear it. If you are in technology savvy, then upload a YouTube video or record a video of you telling me your response. I want to see the face of the person who's speaking, and email me that to info@KeinanBriggs.com. What else? If you enjoy these podcasts, if you enjoy the services, I want to start doing these podcasts more often because I enjoy talking. I majored in communications. This doesn't take much effort to edit. I can just talk, send it, it's gone. I can do these more often. But if you enjoy these, you see a benefit, you see improvement, please push that donate button. You can donate whatever amount that you want, whether it's $25, whether it's $1. All the proceeds help. It keeps me motivated because editing and all that stuff takes a lot of time, and I want to be able to give more insight, more input. And again, if it's $1, if it's $5, I personally like the amount of $5 a month. I think that will really help, because if I do the math, crunch the numbers, that really motivates me to do a lot more with this app. But I'm doing all that I can within the window of operation. And thanks for your support. You guys make sure that you subscribe to my YouTube channels, my Instagram, things like that. I try to post as much as I can, try to post original content, not just sharing other videos, other people, and give you guys as much motivation as possible. One huge thing that I want to promote right now on this podcast is, many times I'm dealing with a lot of parents that have a vision or goal for their athlete, and the kids can never succeed because the parent is bombarding them with too many things. They're in too many sports at once. They have too many trainers. They have too many workouts. The parents become the managers. And the issue is, who wants to be managed by a person who just doesn't know what to do? The parents make the ultimate decision. The kids have huge influence and input for the parents. But take this to a professional. Take your ideas of what to do, how to train, all these things. Take it to a professional, get professional advice, then make your decision once you have all input from all parties, the athlete, the parent, and a professional in the area of your concern. I am an option. There are other options available. I did have a few athletes last year that needed mental, I don't know how to say it, but mental help. They just needed guidance mentally. They needed to be helped in the psychological part. I'm putting together a program for that. And yeah, so you guys, thanks for listening. I'll see you next time. The next video will be coming soon. If you have suggestions on videos, shoot me an email, DM me on social media to send me information about what you want to hear. I want to make this more about conversation versus drills. The drills are in the app. You can watch those. This is a conversation or a topic I think is very important. And thanks for backing this up. and I will see you guys next time.